This is Subhodeep, and let's get started with our assignment. And I had given you the assignment for taking the data out of the text file, converting it into CSV files, and converting CSV files into Excel files. Now, let's get started. Now, I will definitely go with my approach. You can do your own and you can submit your solutions, definitely. And if you have any doubts, you can please ask for my help. So, yeah, it's running, OBS is running. Now, let's get started. So our task is there is a folder and I will denote the folder with a red color. So there is a folder, okay, and this is our folder, and inside this folder we have 3 or 4 text files, right? So we have text files and let's denote text files with the rainbow color. So this is our text files, these are our text files, okay. First text file, second text file, third text file. So these are our text files, right? Now inside these text files we have some data, right? So we have, let me just take out the green pen. Let me just decrease the size. Yeah, so it has 3 things. Each one of them has 3 things: name, country, name, phone number, and country, right? NPC, name, phone number, country. This also has name, the second line has phone number, the third line has country. This one also has the first line as name, second line as phone number, and third line as country, right? So this is the similarity between all of them, right? So what are the columns? What can we expect? What should be the columns? So we can identify that there are 3 columns. The first column should be name, the second column should be phone number, the third column should be country, right? So we have our key values, right? We have our keys, because these columns will be the keys of the dictionary. Because I had shown you, when we extract the data from these text files, we must convert it into dictionaries, right? And that too, list of dictionaries. So basically what we are going to do today is we are going to take out, let me take the blue pen for this reason. So we will go through all the things inside this folder, okay? So first we will go inside this folder. We will check what does this folder contain. So then we will get these 3 text files, right? We will get these things. Now one by one I will read the data and convert it into dictionaries, right? Dictionaries. And each dictionary will have name, and it will have name, and it will be Shubhodeep or Ikechiku or Durle, or it may be anything. And then it will contain phone number, and then it will contain country, right? Country. I'm not writing the full, okay. So this will contain inside the dictionary. So each one of them will have a dictionary like this, okay. We will go then read this one, then again make a dictionary out of it, meaningful data. Last time I told you, right? Once again I'll make a dictionary, again go to this file, read the data, what's inside this, and make a dictionary out of the data. So we have a dictionary once again. So there are 3 dictionaries in total. This one, and this one, right? Now therefore we have 3 datas. That means logically, if I want to think that we have 3 rows, 3 columns, 3 rows. Why 3 columns? Because there are only 3 fields: name, phone number, and country. And why 3 rows? Because we have 3 data: the first text file, the second text file, and the third text file. So we have 3 people over there. So we have 3 rows, right? So basically what we have to do is we have to put all of these dictionaries into a single list. How can we do that? we will have a list over here. Let's have a list over here. So this is our list. Okay, this is our list, and what we will do is we will put all of them into this dictionary, into this list. So all the dictionaries will be present over here. This, then this, and then finally this, right? So now what do we have? We have a list of dictionaries, right? So what is our this is our first step. We have to go to the folder. We have to check what does the folder contain, and for every text file we will take out the data, put it into a dictionary, and then put that dictionary into the list, into the main list. Again, go to the next text file, take out the data, make a dictionary out of it, put the dictionary into the list. Again, go to the next file, read the data, take out the dictionary, put the dictionary into the list. Now we have a list with three elements. What are the elements? The dictionaries of each text files, right? Now once we have this, now what are the things that we have? We have one list containing all the data. Now we will have another list. We will have another list which contains the name, the name of the column. What are the names of the column? So there are three columns. So there will be name, there will be phone number, and there will be country, right? So this is another list. Let's call this list key list, right? So the key list contains the name of the columns. What are the names of the columns? Name, phone number, country. Name, phone number, country, right? And what is the what's inside the other list? Inside the other list we have data which has been extracted from the text files present inside that folder, right? Now we have completed our first step. What's the second step? So the first step was to collect data from text files and make a meaningful data. So we have a list of meaningful data, right? Now what's the next step? The next step is to make a CSV file out of it. How can we make a CSV file? What we will do is, here inside this list, we have three elements, right? What are the elements? Name, phone number, country. This field, this list contains the name of the columns. How many columns are there? There are three columns, right? And for every dictionary, when we are extracting the data from the dictionary, how many keys does the dictionary have? Exactly, three. The dictionary has name, phone number, country, and the list has the same thing. So can I say that both of them have the same thing? What are the columns that we need? Name, phone number, country. We have them inside this list, right? And for every dictionary, the dictionary contains name, phone number, and country of the person. So we will use zip function. I will show you how to do it. We will use zip function to take the data. So let's say when we are zipping the function, actually what we are doing is we are taking this thing, the first element of the first list, and this thing together. By this, what I mean is, let me demonstrate you by opening the Python terminal, right? So inside Python, let's have a dictionary. Let's call it temp, right? Let's have temp, and okay, not here. Let's just jump back to the demo folder here. Let's exit here. Yep, we exit and then go to desktop demo. Okay, not this one, demo. We go here to dir. We have all these different text files. Now let's say, for example, let's take this one, Durle. Okay, what happens? Let us see that in action, because practical things actually give you more idea as compared to theoretical things. So no matter what I say, you will only believe once you see it, right? So let me just open the terminal. Now here Let's launch the Python interpreter. So now, what is the key list here? So the key list, let's make the key list. Key list equals to, make the key list. Oops, not again. Key list equals to, so what's the first column? Name of the person, right? What's the next column? Phone number of the person. What's the final column? Country of the person. We have our key list, right? And now what we will do is file equals to open, and we will open, let's say, dirle.txt. So we'll say dirle.txt, right? So once we open this one, let's store this in a container, or let me just show you right here. For key and line in zip, we are using the zip function here. And inside the zip function we are passing two things, key list and file, right? Print and here you say key is line. So as you can see, it works perfectly fine. Name is Darlipovida, phone is this, and country is Colombia. So let me just show you what's happening here. Go back to the top. Yep. So when I am accessing with zip, what does zip doing? What is zip doing? So what's happening here is, let's convert this thing into a list so that you can understand better. Just control C this. List, control V this. Okay, this one's not working. Oh, I'm sorry. So the file, I have to write that once again because it has been read already. So now look at this one very carefully. So what zip is doing is that for every, since key list and the number of lines in the file are the same, how many lines does the file contain? Let's open the file up and see how many file does this contain. So it was dirly. So when I open this, so this contains 3 lines, right? First line, second line, third line. And how many elements does the key list contain? Also 3 elements, right? So we are zipping it together. Zipping, and by zipping we are combining both of them. So name and Lipovida, because both of them are first element of their respective lists. So this thing is the first element of this list, and Lipovida is the first item, is the first line in this file, right? It is the first line in this file. And same goes for this one. Phone is the second element inside this list, and phone number is the second line inside this file, right? And we are looping through both of them together. This is why zip is required, and I have already shown you how zip works. So for detailed video, please refer back to the previous ones. So that's what we are going to do. Let's jump back to our whiteboard. So now we will be zipping them together, and we will somehow, we will take the data, we'll make it meaningful, and then we will return the data, right? Once we return the data, we will convert the data into CSV file. How? We will first write the headers, and we will write the headers using this one, right? How to write headers I have shown you. If you didn't watch the previous video, please refer back to the video. So first we will write the headers, and since now we have this list of dictionaries, we can write it as a CSV file. So CSV done. After creation of CSV file, I have already shown you how to convert or how to make a new Excel file using the CSV file using the pandas module. So for this reason, we will need three modules. OS module to loop, to go through all the files present inside the folder, read, all those stuffs. Also opening notepad sometimes, or maybe Excel, because it can run system commands like Windows commands. It can run inside Python. So for that purpose we will need OS module. We will need pandas for converting or for making Excel files using CSV files, and we will also need that one CSV files for working with CSV files, of course. So this is our three-step methodology. So we will have three functions, because now since we are in the intermediate level, we must understand that writing our programs just as it is, just the logics will make it messy, and your program won't be efficient and neat. So to make it neat, we will create three functions, after which we will work with them. That will actually make your code look super sexy. So let's code it out. This is my original code, and this is what I'm going to do basically. This is my first function, text dict. So the name is pretty self-explanatory. What it does is takes the data out of CSV files and it converts to dictionaries, or I can say a list of dictionaries, and it takes one parameter, key list. I already told you key list contains all the names of the columns, right? And I'm just going through this. So it has a list, empty list at the beginning. It has an empty list in the beginning, and what we are doing is we are opening the list directory. We are going through all the files, and if the file contains .txt at the end, because every file that contains .text or .txt at the end is a text file, right? So once we see that the file has .txt, we open it, right? We open it, and after opening it, we create a dictionary, which will definitely go away, right? Because this is a for loop, and every time it loops back, this will again be empty. So don't worry about it. So we will create an empty dictionary. Now we are zipping it. We are going through the key list as well as the opened text file. So first line is the first element. So what is the first element? The first element is the name of the name of the column, and the name of the first column is name itself, right? Name, and this one is the first line. What is the first line? Dirl. Again, it is a for loop. So let's say the first thing will be name over here. So name equals to the name of the person. The next thing that will come here is the phone. So temp data phone equals to line.strip. So this time the line will contain the phone number of the person, and finally the this one will contain the country of the person, right? So now we append the whole thing back to this data, this list. So you're putting the whole dictionary into the data, and we are returning it. Now we have the list of dictionaries, right? We have this second function called Dict to CSV, which takes three parameters: data, key list, and CSV file name. Let me explain. Data is the thing that we got back from the first function. This one, the list of dictionaries. Key list is the same thing as this one, because this time we need to write the headers. To write the headers, we need key list, and the name of the CSV file, right? We need the name, after which we will rename or rename the CSV file. So we do all the stuffs and create CSV files. I will go through them once again. And finally, this is really easy. CSV to Excel, as the name suggests, it will make a new Excel file out of CSV file. So it takes two things as parameters: CSV file name and Excel file name. CSV file name will be the same as this one, and Excel file name, just put it whatever you like. Okay. And it uses pandas module to convert into Excel file, and that's it. Okay. And this OS system Excel means that I want to open the newly generated file. And don't worry, I will go through all of them, right? So let's start coding. Let's get started. So our first module will be OS module, second module will be CSV, third module will be pandas to make Excel, to work with CSV, and to loop over the files in the folder, right? I will write comments so that you have you can easily access or you can easily understand what I'm doing actually. So our first function will be text to dict, right? And we will pass key list, and you don't have to worry as why I'm doing this, because we will definitely pass the key list later on. You guys know functions, you have worked with them, so no need to worry. I'm just defining how this will work. So this is a function, it will accept this key list which will contain the name of the columns. Okay, so once again for clarity I'm just writing it here. Okay, use doc strings. Why doc strings? Doc strings actually help documenting what this function does. So what does this function do? Goes through all the files, all the text files in a folder, in the folder under reads data, and makes reads data, I'm sorry, for each text file it reads the data and generates dictionary, and then put the dictionary into a list. After this, return the list of dictionaries. That's what it will do. And I'm writing this once again. Key list will be the list of column names, right? Now let's start coding. Just a little bit left, and let's get started. So first of all, we need a list. We need an empty list where we will put our data. So let's name the list as data, and after this let's get started. So we will use OS module. Let's check it out. What we will do, we are inside the demo folder, so import os.listdir. What this does is it shows all, it gives us back a list of all the files that are present inside this folder. It contains data.csv, data.xls, dolly.txt, ibrahim.txt, ikhu.txt, newser, Pazian, all these folders, different things, Subhodeep.txt, all these things. So what does listdir do? os.listdir means, show us the contents of the folder, and the contents will be returned in the form of a list. So we will get a list back, right? We will get a list back. But do we need all the items here? No, we only need those items which contains .txt. We only need those items. So what will be your first approach? Your first approach will be to say like, so okay, it's not a big deal. We will say if an item of inside this list contains .txt, that's it, we will use that. So let's see what happens. So now if os or if txt in os.listdir Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, not this one. Just a second. For file in os dot list dir print file. If I do this thing, it will print literally all the name of the files and folder. See what happens. It gives us all the names, but we don't need them. We need only those, which contains txt. So we will say if txt in file print file. Let's see what happens this time. So it gives us only those files which has txt in file, but there is a problem. There is a major problem. See, this thing is not a text file. It is a Python file, but it still prints it out. Why? Because we are searching that if it has txt in file, so it has txt, so it is valid. This is the reason we only want the files, that ends with .txt, to be printed. So what we will do instead is if txt, okay, not this one. If file dot ends with, remember when I taught you about strings, I told you about this thing. So if file ends with txt, print file. Now we get our desired output. Okay, we only get text files by it checks if the file ends with txt, and all of them ends with txt. That's why it is printing the file. So now since we have this one, now let's go ahead and take out the data. So we will basically just do the same thing inside this. So we'll check for file in os.listdir if file dot ends with txt, we'll use with open. We will mention the name of the file. So basically open file. So we'll mention the name of the file and no need to specify any other thing because the default mode is read, and we are just going to read the file, right? We are not going to write anything into it. So let's open the file with open as, let's say, text file. So you're opening the file as text file. Now inside the text file, okay, before doing anything, we need a temporary dictionary, temp dict, or just say temporary data, and inside this we will say that it is a blank dictionary, right? It is simply a blank dictionary. And now we will zip it for key and line in zip, and we're going to mention key list and text file, because this is, no, this will have the name of the columns. And remember, we can only do this because number of column or fields is equal to number of lines in a text file. Okay, we can only do this because of this condition. If this condition was not true, we couldn't have opened this. This will give us error. Okay, we know that this is going to work, right? So now we're going to say temp data, and we will open the key over here, and we'll just put it line. But there's a problem with this one. I will show what the problem is. Okay, so the problem is that, let's do the same thing once again. So for this one, this one, and okay, from here, with open, oh damn, with open, I'm going to say file as text file. I'm going to open a new dictionary, temp data. And remember one thing, since this is a for loop, you can see this is a for loop. So for every file, this will be empty. So whatever you are putting it right now, it will go away once we close the file. We have done. We have moved on, right? Once we do our work with the first file, the data will go away. So before throwing away the data, we are putting the data into a list, right? So we will do that. Don't worry. Um, Now inside this, we will say for, and well, we don't have any key list right now. Do you have key list? Do we have a key list? Just let me check. Okay, just give me a second. Do we have a key list? Okay, we have a key list. We have a key list over there, right? Right here. Yeah, we have a key list here. I guess. Yeah. So since we have a key list, we can do the same thing for every key and every line in zip. We are putting it together. We are zipping it together. We're combining both of them. We're saying key list and text file. So what we're saying, for every key inside key list and for every line inside text file, start the loop. So for every key in key list and for every line in text file, create a new field or create a new key value pair. How to create a new value pair? So we are saying temp data, and inside this key, so if this key is currently name, the name of the column is name, so inside this dictionary there will be a new key called name, and we are combining the values with line. But we have a problem here. I'm showing you what is the problem, definitely. Now let's open the dictionary. What do we have? Temp data. See, we have our thing. Why? Because for the first time, key was name. So temp data name equals to line. That is the first line, because this is the first element. What's the first element? The name of the person. Similarly, when this loop is moving the second time, the next key is phone, right? So here is phone. So temp data phone equals to line. What's the second line? The phone number, right? Similarly, in the third time, this is country. So temp data country equals to the country the person lives in. But there's a problem. Can you see this N over here? New lines. So we don't want that, right? How can we remove that? I have shown you already. We can use split for that purpose, right? We can split. We can split that. I'm going to do the same thing once again. Dot strip. You are using strip. I'm saying remove the new line. remove the new line. Now let's see what do we have. We have temp data. Whew, now we have removed the new line. So this is what we are going to do. So what are the steps? Once again, we are going through all the files inside the list. I'm sorry, we are going through all the files in the folder. If the file ends with .txt, we are opening that file. We are creating a new dictionary, and inside the dictionary we are zipping two things together: the key list, which contains the name of the columns, and the text file, which contains the lines itself. So for every key, we are putting the line, and we are stripping the new line so that we do not get this new line over here. So that is our first step, and we are done. We just need to put this thing, put this whole thing into a list. Why? Because this will happen the number of times there are files. If there are 5 files, there will be 5 temp data, right? And every time this will be overwritten. So next time this will be ikechku, the next time this may be Durle, the next time it may be Swarnali, it can be anything, right? So we need to store it somewhere, because otherwise we will lose our data, right? And we need to make a container, we need to put it together. So for that purpose, we are going to put this thing into a list, and we are done with the first step, right? And now let's continue with our Python code. So we are doing this. Just add this thing strip, because you want to remove the new lines, the /n. We are just removing this, and we are putting this into this. And once this loop finishes, that means once the number of lines in the file as well as the number of columns in the key list finishes, because there are three lines as well as 3 columns. So once total of 3 gets exhausted, just go away from the loop. Okay. And now you have to put this thing into this list. So you will say data.append temp data, right? So once we are completed, we will have a dictionary with name, phone number, and country. We have the dictionary, then you are taking the dictionary and putting it into this list, data list, right? This one over here. Putting this. Now, again, this loop will continue. Next file comes, checks if it is a text file or not. If it is a text file, it opens it, again creates a new dictionary, and all the previous data is lost. It's gone, right? This is the reason we are storing it. It's gone. Now for same thing is happening. We are combining the key list as well as the text file. So the number of key list, the number of elements in key list equal to the number of lines in text files, right? So because the number of columns, I have written the condition over here, you can read it up. So temp data name equals to first line, temp data phone equals to second line, and temp data country equals to third line, right? And every time we are just removing this one. Remember this, we're just removing this one, right? And then we are appending, that means we are putting the data into this list, right? Once we are done with these loops, so our function ends here, and we simply return the data. We return this list, because this time the list has elements. The list is a list of dictionaries, right? And we need a list of dictionaries in order to create CSV files as well as Excel files. Now let's check it out if this works or not. Let's save this one, and okay, this is in this directory. Let's go to that directory, cmd. Okay, not this one. Go to X, cd into Python, and inside Py-Volution, it's Py-Volution, right? What's the name of the file? Okay, it's Py-Volution.py, right? So we are saying we are first opening a Python terminal here, and now from from Py-Volution import. So we're mentioning the file name. The file name is Py-Volution, right? So from Py-Volution import this function text to dictionary. Copy this one, Control C. Okay, do one thing. I'm just putting this thing. Just save this, save as, and I'm putting this in the demo folder over here. Is there a demo folder? Okay, so you're first putting this inside this, saving this one, remove this one, so we can work directly here. So we are saying from evolution dot, okay, not dot py, from evolution import txt to Dict. Let's see what it gives us. Okay. Oh damn. Okay, so we need to rename the file. Just a second, because it doesn't support this one. Let's see if I can work around this one. Okay, so this won't work. Give me just a second. Just just change the name of the file. Okay, now we're done. So now we have the text. We have the function here. Now let's see what does the function gives us. So our key list. We have our key list, right? Our key list has three things: name, phone, and country. That's what we need. We can just pass this thing into the function text to Dict key list. Let's see. Wow, we have this. We have this. So we have a list of three dictionaries: the first dictionary, the second dictionary, and the third dictionary. Let's print this one once again. Let's print this one. So for each, okay, for Dict, okay, or you can say for data in this one, this whole list, print data. As you can see, we have a list of four dictionaries, right? First dictionary has the name as Dorlepovida, phone number this one, country this one, and it just changes, right? The column names remains the same, the values changes, right? So the key remains the same, but the values are all different. Okay, all the values are different, just the column names remain same, phone, so all of them are same columns, right? So we have this. Our first function is completed. Now time to write our second function. What's our second function? Guess what? It's called, guess, any guesses? It will be called Dict to CSV. Why? Because we are going to create a CSV file using the data we have just got, right? So we will pass in the data. Okay, later on we will pass in the data. What are the things that we need? So for the column section, for the header section, I last time told you how to write columns for CSV file. How to write columns for a CSV file, right? So let me just open this one, or actually, this one. Let me just open this one with Notepad. I hope my OBS is working fine. Okay, so you can see that these two things are actually the headers. So these are the headers, these are the column names. So this is the first column, this is the second column, right? So to write the column names, we need a list which contains the column names. And what is that list? That list is key list. So we're going to pass key list, not now, but when we are using the function later on. So we need the key list over here so that I can write headers. And what else do we need along with key list? Any idea? Yes, the CSV file name, the name of the CSV file. Okay, we can literally put any string over here. So CSV file name. Just do this thing. Let's get started. Once again, write doc strings whenever you are writing functions. This actually helps you and others who read your code. Takes data which is a list of dictionaries. It also takes key list and CSV and the name of the CSV file that will create, right? Writes header or fields or columns using key list and writes rows using the data, right? So remember last time I had shown you how to, the standard way of writing to a CSV file, right? I had shown you, right? The standard way of writing to a CSV file. And CSV files, remember this thing, CSV files contains meaningful data, right? So what is a meaningful data? List of dictionaries, right? There are multiple people. So each people has its own dictionaries. And when we combine both of them, it's a list, right? It's so simple. So now, okay, I guess something's wrong with this guy. Anyways, Control Z, right? Perfect. So where were we? Now you have to open it. Open a CSV file. So we can say with open, and now you're going to write to CSV file. I am repeating once again. We are writing to a CSV file, and in Windows, it automatically creates another new line, right? Do you remember last time we got an error regarding this thing? So it automatically creates an extra new line which you do not need. For that purpose, what you need to do is you have to remove that, we have to remove that new line. How can we do that? So first of all, open the CSV file, and we have already specified the file name here. Okay, whatever the user passes as the CSV file name, we will open that file only. So let's open that file, CSV file name, and open it as write mode. And since we are using Windows, new line equals to blank. If you do not put this, you will get an extra blank as CSV file, or simply file. CSV file equals to csv.dict writer and you just put the name over here, file, right? So we are saying that we are telling the Python interpreter that we are putting the pen. This is, this means the same thing as this one. We are putting the pen on the file and we're going to write to the file. This is the reason we are saying csv.dict writer. So we are writing to where we are writing? We are writing to this file. Which file? The file which we have just opened. This file. So basically we are writing to this file, CSV file name, right? Since we are writing, we are mentioning this. As I have told you, this is just a basic revision. I'm just reminding you that what I am doing, otherwise you will get confused. And again, once again, remember to give this thing field names equals to key list. Why? Because you want to write the header, right? Field name means column names. where are all the column names containing inside key list. So we are passing key list as an argument to file names, to field names, right? So field name equals to key list. That means the field names will be the same as the names containing in the key list. As simple as that. So all the columns inside key list are the field names. That's why we are specifying this. After this, we are simply saying csv file dot write headers, right? And once again, I'm just checking out the syntax actually. Okay, right header, not headers actually, right header, and then csv file dot rows, write rows and data. So write row, this will basically write the header, and where it will write the header, how it will know that what is the header. Basic question, right? How it will know that what are the column names that I need to write? Well, the answer is from here, because we have already passed the names of the columns. And when we, when we write this piece of code, it means, hey, write down the name of the fields, or write down the name of the columns. And after that, we are saying csv file dot write rows data. So now we are writing the dictionaries containing inside that data list. Inside this list, there were dictionaries, multiple dictionaries. So we are writing all the dictionaries as a row. So every dictionary is a row. So that's why you are saying write rows, it's plural. And we are passing data is a list of dictionaries, right? So that's what happening here. With that, we are done. We are simply done. So I'm gonna show you this one once again. So for data, okay, import from Py-Volution, import txt, not this one, dict to csv. For name, but I have already named it, right? Okay, I think I need to close it once again. Just a second, give me a second. So this is still Py-Volution. Okay, there is some error, I guess. Oh, okay. Oh damn. Actually, I'm writing this in another file. Let me just copy this down. Let me just copy this down. It actually made another copy of it. So yeah, now I can do this, save it. Now I hope this works. No. Okay, no problems. Exit and start the Python once again. Now this will work. Okay, so the import worked correctly, right? And we need another function. So we have two functions right now: text to dict, which will read the text and convert it to a list of dictionaries, and dict to csv. So dict to csv will take the data and make a csv file, right? So let's check it out how it works. So first of all, we have the key list over here. We just check out my camera. Okay. So first of all, we have key list over here. Key list equals to, there will be three things. First of all, name, then phone, then country, right? This is our key list. And now text to dict key list. We need to pass the key list, right? So we have the key list right now, but we need to store it somewhere. So let's store it somewhere. Data equals to, because if we do not store it, how can we work with it, right? Data equals to, let's put data before it. Data equals to this one. Okay, we are done. Now data equals to, okay, Okay, so it works fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to call the next function, which is dict to CSV, and this will take three parameters, right? First one is of course data key list, and the third one is the name of the sales file, which I am saying like let's keep demo.csv. This is the name of the file basically, so I'm okay. Oh, there's a typing mistake. It's righty header. It will be right header actually. Just a second. Okay, save this one and we're done. Let's go back, and again this will not work because still let's okay, yeah, so it has not been updated yet. We are exiting here. Exit in the Python interpreter once again. Text to dict, we imported that one. Dict to says we also import that one. We need key list. We had written okay, key list is here. We have the data over here, and the only thing is remaining is this one, dict to CSV. We are calling this function right now. It takes data key list and the name of the file it is going to create. Enter. So once it does, it will jump to the next statement. Actually caught a cold. So it's running in the background, it's doing its work, and once it finishes its job, it will go to the next line. Let's wait. Let's wait and watch how much time it takes. Actually, has it created? Okay, so here is our demo.csv. Let's see it has completed or not. Let's open this one. Okay, it's 0 KB right now. I guess it's still working. Okay, nice. Now let's open it. Okay, so it has 1 KB, right? Now it has the information, right? So let's open it, notepad. Boom, we have name, phone, country as headers or field names, right? And we have all the data. So this is the name, this is the whole name. Lipovita, this is the whole name. This is the phone number. This is the country. So this is one dictionary. This is a single dictionary. The data has been taken out of a single dictionary. This is another dictionary. This is another dictionary. Okay. The name is Subhodeep Sarkar. The number is this. The country is this. So we have our CSV file as well. Now the last step is to create Excel files. Let's create the function. So now let's write our final function, that is def CSV to Xlsx. Why Xlsx? The extension of the extension of Excel files are .xlsx, just like the extension of text files are .txt. The pictures are .jpg or .png, just like that. Excel files have an extension of .xlsx. If you have noticed it, right? So it accepts only two things. The first one is this one, the name of the CSV file from where we are going to read. Control C this, Control V here. So from this CSV file, this has our raw data. We will take it. So we will read it, right? And we are going to write to a new file, new Excel file. So name of the Excel file will be like the user will pass the name definitely. So I will say Xlsx file name. So the user will need to put pass two things, CSV files and Xlsx file name, right? from here it will read, and here it will write the contents, right? So again, doc strings. So right here, reads from the CSV file, and and writes to a Excel file. Perfect. Now remember, I already shown you what are the steps in order to accomplish this task. I'm just repeating them. If you need any assistance, you can watch the previous video. But I'll explain as I go. So first of all, I'll say CSV file equals to here it will read all the data from the CSV file and will put the data inside this. So we are storing the data from CSV file into this one, right? Into this variable. So we will say pandas dot read CSV, and we will say from where it will read. It will read from this one, CSV file name, right? Perfect. So basically this line means that pandas has a function, pandas has a function called read CSV, which will read the data from this file and will then put the data into this variable, right? This is the first step. Now it will, this time it will say Excel Xlsx file equals to pandas dot Excel writer, and you have to pass the name of the Excel file, right? So basically this one over here, Control C, paste is over here. And once again, basically this line has the same meaning as this line. In this line, we were specifying that we want to write to CSV file, and in this line, we are specifying that we want to write to a Excel file, and we are saying that we want to write to a Excel file. We are not writing it here, right? We are specifying that we want to write this Excel file. This is the reason in this line, when we write this piece of code, a new Excel file with the name passed or a name given by the user will be created, right? So if I pass donkey.xlsx in this line, it will create a file called donkey.xlsx. Just to put it simply. Now in this line, we will actually write to the file. How? We will say CSV. It's very easy. CSV file name, or CSV file dot to Excel, and inside this we will pass Xlsx file name file and index to false. Let me just check that lines once again, because pandas in basics. Okay, perfect, fine. So this line means that, so we have the data of CSV file inside this variable, and we have created our Excel file inside this variable. So since we have the data, we are saying that whatever we have inside this variable, convert it, or just put the data into this Excel file, because this is our new file, right? In this line we have created a new file. So inside the new file, we are writing all the previous data, and index equals to false means that we don't want any index, because in Excel we automatically have the row lines, the row numbers, row 1, row 2, row 3. There are all numbers in the extreme left corner, so we don't want that, right? That's why we're doing this. And finally, this is very, very important, never ever skip this part. You'll have to say Xlsx file dot save. If you do not do this, your contents will not be saved. Remember this. You must do this, otherwise content will not be saved in the hard disk, right? And we're done. Congratulations. Saving this file and import another from Py-Volution. Maybe this time it won't work because it's not yet updated. Volution import CSV to Excel. Okay, so it is not yet updated. It is not yet updated, as you can see. So we have to close it once again. Exit and open Python. Set Python text to dict. We need this one. Dict to text. Dict to CSV. Perfect. And from CSV to Excel, we need this function as well. So this one. CSV to Excel Xlsx. Okay, so all three imports work. Now we need the key list over here. So the key list is this one. And pretty much that's it. We don't need anything else. Just say data. Okay. So this one, so this will take all the data out of the text files as I have shown you, right? And so we have our CSV files, right? So this is the name of the CSV file. I'm just removing this one. Okay, let it be there. Okay. And now what we want to do is CSV to Excel Xlsx. It needs three things. Oh, I'm sorry. It needs two things. This one, the name of the CSV file which we have just created, and the name of the new Excel file. So demo.xlsx. Boom. Let's see what happens. Let's wait and watch. Okay, so it's done, I guess. Woohoo! We have our yep, we have our Excel file with 5 KB of data. Let's see how it shows us. We'll open. I hope it. And come on. And here you go, guys. We have it. But the only problem is that this column is little bit, narrow. Let's make it a little bit longer. So we have the names, we have the phones, we have the country, we have everything. You have successfully created an Excel file. Congratulations. Name, phone, country, all the fields. And look at this. All of them are in bold. Okay. All of them are, it bit bold, right? That signifies that these are the field names, or these are the column names, right? And there's also a border around them, right? You can see there's a border around them, so that means that they are actually column names, they are not data. Data are these rows, this one, this one, this one, this one. And as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5, there is a numbering over here in the extreme left corner. This is the reason we have disabled the index. Remember, index equal to false. This is the reason we have done that, right? And I want to add just a little bit of cool feature here. If you want, you can directly open this from here only. You can say os.system and you will just put Excel and you just put Xlsx file name. Okay, so basically this will open the file. This will actually open the file. So let's save this one. Basically this is just a Windows command. If we run it in the Windows CMD, this will work just as fine. So now let's run this once again. And okay, this time let's do it completely automatically. Okay, let's do it automatically. So we have key list equals to name, comma, phone, comma, country. We're done. We have all this one, and then we're going to call data equals to this function over here, this one, text to dict, control C, all the way to down, control V, pass the key list. We're done. Then just need to call these two functions. Okay, just copy the whole thing over here. Control C, control V. There's some small indentation over here. Okay, data key list, just change this with hello dot csv, and similarly call this one and just replace this one with hello.csv, because this is the name of the csv file, hello.csv, and replace this with whatever you want. I'm just putting it hello.xlsx. Let's see if that works or not. Save this one and let's run this. Let's run this. Something, control B, I guess. Control B. Let's wait and watch what it does actually. Let's see. Wow, and we are done. See, it just happened automatically. You didn't have to touch any single bit, right? You didn't have to do anything. And here's our thing. Here is everything, man. This is your name, this is your phone number, this is your country. It's all fine and good. We are done. So we have written our automation project. This was basically an automation project. These things are very, very crucial when you are going to the field of IT. We just check out, yeah. And when you become system administration, you do system administration, or you're working in Linux, or in some critical environment where you need to do things as fast as you can, because if you start reading text files one by one, take the data, put it in a CSV file or put it in a Excel file, it will take time. It will take much time. Did you see how less time it took? It took just a couple of seconds, right? 2 or 3 seconds. That's the power of Python. If you would have written the same thing in some other language, may God save you. May God save you. This is the power of Python, guys. Let me show you. It took only 45 lines to finish this one, including these, these nonsense doc strings. And actually, okay, they are not nonsense. They actually help you. And, if I exclude this, just it's about 20 lines or so, right? It's about 20 lines or so. So that's the power of Python, guys. If you like the video, please tell me. And if you face any problems, please share with me, guys. Okay, that's all for today. And in the next session, maybe we will cover regular expressions. We will look onto that. And see you in the next lecture. Good night. Namaste.